the channel, guys. Mr. H here. Full spoilers. If you don't want, you don't want this movie to be spoiled, full spoilers. I have confirmation and I've got evidence to show you that the plot leaks for Terminator Dark Fate were true, outside of this article. So I've got a source that has worked closely to the film and has confirmed an awful lot and given me evidence to confirm it and back it up as well. It's 100% legit. And I'll be showing it to you guys today, as well as discussing this article, because this article, this interview, also backs up what I'm saying. So if you don't want spoilers, just click off the video now. But yeah, the plot leaks were true. They were 100% true. And I've got the evidence to confirm that for you guys as well. So whilst I'm talking through the first part of all of this, you'll see some videos, some pictures on the screen. And this is taken from the set, and I'll be discussing what happens with respect to all these reshoots and what was garnered from the reshoots and also from the movie as a whole, whilst my source was there. So there is confirmation, Legion and Danny. So for those that don't know, Legion is the new threat. There is no more Skynet. Skynet is not there. Danny is the future resistance leader. So it's not her daughter or anything like that. It is her. She is the future of the resistance. And John Connor's death, yeah, that's confirmed as well. That's 100% confirmed. So what happens is, in the opening to the movie, which was revealed in the plot leaks, is that it opens up directly after Terminator 2. T-800, Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800, walks in a bar in Mexico where John Connor and Sarah Connor are, young John Connor, and John Connor gets killed. As that happens, that then sets up a change in the timeline. We no longer have Skynet. What rises to power is Legion, some new AI, an incredibly original name. Give yourself a pat on the back. And that's confirmed. What I'm going to play for you now is some audio files, which is taken from a scene in the movie during the reshoots, which backs up all of this. So over to the audio file, you listen to it now.
We'll all be dead in 10 seconds. This is what Legion wants us to do. Kill each other. We don't really want to do that. We should be fighting the machines, not each other.
What's the point?
You made it this far. That means you're strong. All of you.
Look around you, lady. This is Legion's world.
Legion didn't exist until he was created. HKs. Shoot me, and we'll all be dead in 10 seconds. This is what Legion wants us to do. Kill each other.
And not only that, whilst they were on set filming, this is actually in Santa Monica, for anyone that doesn't know. They were on set filming from early June, so what we know is 100% confirmed. They were reshooting for about 4 weeks, about a month, and yeah, there is... Gabriel Luna was on set during the whole time, so there was a previous photo which kind of backed up the whole reshoots thing. Gabriel Luna was on set the whole time. There was actually a young Grace. So a younger Grace, Mackenzie Davis' character, will appear in this film. She was on set during the reshoots. And in terms of the reshoots, what they were doing, it was mostly stunts. It was mostly action shots. They were being touched up. And there was actually minimal dialogue during all of these reshoots. So they're not changing much. They didn't go back to reshoot the film for any reason other than just some pickups, which I don't think is very good anyway. Now, not only that, there was a huge injury on set. One of the boom mic guys got injured on the last day of filming, and it was quite a big injury. You can see all of the paramedics here. He's being wheeled away on a stretcher. So there you go. That is everything that I know. That's the confirmation. That is the evidence. That is the proof that these plot leaks were 100% true. No more Skynet. Good one, guys. Good one. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, not only that, we've got this article here. This is on the Terminator fans. This is a fairly good website, actually. They kind of amalgamate all they're just an aggregated website. Now, in terms of that, this is an EW interview as far as I'm aware. Now it says, we had previously said that after Tim Miller was interviewed by Variety about fanboy misogyny, this now felt like the focus was less about marketing the movie as a true sequel to Terminator 2 and more about politics. And, what do you know, the focus is now being put back on Terminator 2. Interesting. How better to limit damage than to interview Tim Miller, someone many fans are not happy with right now, with Linda Hamilton by his side, or on the phone as backup. So, really, really interesting. They did the outrage to get people talking about it, and now they're talking about the actual movie again. She's finally back, and it only took 28 years, 4 sequels, and 3 unreturned phone calls from Terminator Dark Fate director Tim Miller. Now, interestingly enough, they do point out, note, why do these Terminator Dark Fate stories keep changing? Wasn't it James Cameron who called Linda? Then that changed to emailing her, and now we're on 3 unreturned phone calls from Tim Miller. Seeing as they mentioned James Cameron calling her later in this interview, we're going to stick with the story of Jim doing all the legwork to convince Linda to come back, which I think is probably the case anyway. But why lie? Why change? Just keep your story straight. So, interestingly enough, they say, why does this feel like EW is trying to open up their piece with a sympathy card for Tim Miller? Very strange. Entertainment Weekly. Coming off the success of Deadpool, you surely had plenty of options for your next project, so why Terminator? Which kind of reiterates what was said in the previous interview. Now, it says, Tim Miller replied, I think you'd get the same answer from pretty much any nerd you'd ask, which is these movies, because they were the seminal sci-fi movies of the decade when they came out. They had a big influence on a lot of people, especially at my age. Star Wars and Terminator were two of the biggest franchises that made me want to get into this. The idea that I could continue the story is unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to many people, dude. Trust me. Linda, it's been almost 30 years since you last played Sarah, and there were opportunities to return in the past. So why was this the opportunity that finally brought you back? Now, Linda Hamilton replied, there's a real gift in that so much time has passed, and it gives me so much more to explore with the character. Sarah Connor is the same person, but I wanted to see how the difference in events have changed her and shaped her and sent her forward. There was meat there. I didn't want to just recycle the same idea. It's a woman who has a different mission, a different story, so I wanted to see what we could do with that. So that's interesting. Again, different mission, a different story. Why does she have a different mission and a different story? Because John Connor, her son, is dead. Again, as confirmed in the audio files and the pictures that I've just shown you. Miller. And then, of course, she met me. Linda is almost ready to trust me. Hamilton. We're really close to having a trusting relationship. Tim, with the struggles of the more recent films to connect with audiences in the same way as the original, did you think it was necessary to have Linda to be able to justify another film? Absolutely. So basically, they got her in as bait. Absolutely. When we started, we just didn't know if she would do it. Jim was very honest about it. Look, I'll ask her, but I don't know what she's going to say. So it was James Cameron that called her. But he did, and she was interested. Like a nervous deer, we had to creep up on her and convince her one step at a time to do it. He called me 3 times before I even called him back. The 3rd time, he was like, it's about work. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? But even with that and his big sell, it took me weeks to decide that I really could go there and might have something new to say. Had you assumed that you were done playing Sarah Connor? It was many, many, many years of just being sure that it was done, that I was done. I kept saying, yeah, if I'm in one now, it's like the geriatrics era. Which actually is kind of true. I never saw this coming, which made it that much more interesting. So, here's the interesting part. Miller. But you know what? I honestly believe this would be the best version of the movie after the second one. This will be more clear when you see the movie, but the first 2 movies really deal with the time as a loop. What's happening is the same thing that happened before, and everybody is fighting to ensure that happens again. And Jim had this lucky break that he only broke that rule at the end of Terminator 2 when Sarah destroys Cyberdyne. It's the first thing that happened that hadn't happened before, and so it was going to change the future. No more Skynet. But no one knew how. And I didn't think the movies that came after it really explored that in a clean way, like I believe we are, with true consequences. And it makes perfect sense for Sarah to be the one to face those consequences, since they were her choices to begin with. Again, no more Skynet. As proven with the whole Legion audio stuff, which I've just shown you. What was it like fully diving back into Sarah Connor? Were you immediately able to slide back into it, or was it a process? It's not like riding a bike, I'll tell you that. Of course, one assumes if you put in the same hard work, you get the same results. So I went straight back into training really hard, and it's like, oh my god, you need hormones to put muscle on. So just starting with the basic cosmetics of the character, and after all the things that I had to sort of include in my new reality as Sarah Connor. But really, it's about building her backstory and figuring out where she's been and who she is today. You have a character, but so many things have impacted her in the last 30 years that it was like starting over. So again, basically, all the stuff which has happened to her, death of her son, so on and so forth. And yet, there is an echo of the younger Sarah Connor in everything that I had to create. But no, I worked damn hard. So we'll just sift through all of this, blah, 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 blah. Now, Miller, for me, it was a day. Linda shows up on set and she is Sarah Connor. It wasn't like I just decided what she would be at this point. Now, here we go. What can you say about where we pick up with Sarah in Dark Fate? What is her mindset and situation? She's a woman without a country, Mexico. Her original mission has changed due to circumstances, the death of her son. And she doesn't really have a team anymore. She just has a thirst for vengeance. Her son, dead. So that makes her very alone. She's still a wild card, but a wild card without a real true mission is a lot more unpredictable. Basically, very hard for her to find her humanity. So once again, we get to take a journey on that level to have some deep things that need to be rediscovered for her survival. So yeah, this confirms it. Absolutely. Now, Tim did state Jim had this lucky break, and that's the thing, is that the whole thing about the future. They go on just to pick out some bits and pieces about how it relates to the plot links, and that's fine. There's nothing really else to discuss here. But there you go. I've got evidence. I've presented to you. It confirms that, yes, the plot links were true, and people didn't like it. So those people that revealed it on the Reddit thread that said, yeah, we hate this, this is why we're telling everyone, yeah, they didn't like it. They thought it sucked. So anyway, what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Nonsense to me. Why remove Skynet, this character that you built up for 5 movies? Again, John Connor, why remove that? A threat, a character that you built up for 5 movies. Just disappear in the 6th one. Terrible decisions. I really don't like the choices that they've taken. Might play out better, obviously, but I don't like the choices that they've taken. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let me know down below in the comments. If you're new here and you want to stay up to date on the world of pop culture, movie news, and also inside scoops like this, because this is an exclusive, no one else has this stuff, then hit that subscribe button and smash the bell notification icon. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Give this video a like and a share. Take care.